Vibes High on the Vibes High show and the Freedom Channel broadcast and the lovely Tanja and myself at TV. Another favourite on the FTP, believe me. I'm maybe on the guitar.
Hey, look me over. Tell me, do you like what you see?
Love it, love it, love it.
Hey, I ain't got no money, but I'm rich on personality.
I want everyone to take this opportunity and have a bit of a chance and change that energy.
Baby, I know what it's all about.
Let's take that energy,
Before the night is through,
right?
you will
Let's
see
get
my
those
point of
vibes
view.
high,
Even if I have to scream
and
and
let's get
shout,
this
baby,
on
mama,
the road.
might not know it now. Baby, I'll try hard, I'm a child.
Take all that negative energy
Till I
away.
reach the top, sing it.
Let's get the party started.
Take a listen.
So welcome, ladies and
What
gentlemen,
you
to
hear?
Vibe High here on the Freedom Channel broadcast live with the lovely Tanja and myself at C3. How are you, Tanja?
I'm good. Thank you for that. I needed that.
I think we all needed that, Tanja. You know what I mean? Good old Prince is the way to go.
I ain't got time to wait. So baby, mama. You might not know it now. Baby, I'll tell you I'm a child. I don't want to stop till I reach the top. Sing it. If I say nothing comes too easy, when you got it, baby, nothing comes too hard. You see what I'm all about. If I got scream and shout, baby, 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 baby.
Yeah, baby. You tell us they've been to see the few upgrades, haven't you?
Now, baby,
Hey, Tanja, received a few upgrades. So I reckon, why not start the show something different this time? Get ourselves into that vibes, high energy. All right.
Yeah.
And I can tell everyone in the chat loved it too. Thanks, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I mean, that's what we need to do. Get in a happy space, a happy headspace. We can't just be all about Intel and this and that and the other. No, we need to raise our vibrations. Tanja, what do you think?
1,000%. I think all of our vibes are being affected right now, whether you would like it to or not. So, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so that's why, music is very important. Okay, now, Prince, let me tell you about Prince and why I choose Prince. He's one of my favorite artists because he goes against the norm.
Yes.
His music is played at 432 hertz. He's one of the artists that plays his music at 432 hertz. Why do you think that? Because he knows what that frequency 440 is. Another artist, Tanja, that plays at 432 hertz is Bob Marley, or was Bob Marley. All right, now, coincidence, there are none.
No.
And that's why these artists resonate with me. Because I have a knowing that these frequencies that they play are basically healing frequencies. And then you got all that other pop rubbish, you know what I mean? That it's something's not quite right. Now, classical music, Tanja,
Yep.
was played at 432 hertz. Now ask yourself, why do they love classical music? Why are they, when you see these movies with the elite and they have their classical music people there playing their pieces and stuff like that, is it by coincidence that they happen to be all playing classical music?
Yeah.
No.
Not at all.
It's because of the frequency, my friends. That's what it's all about. And that's what we want to talk about. Let's start off with that one, Tanja, a bit, because I had the show Driven the other day, and I was speaking on Telegram again, and a lovely lady that actually called in spoke and said, thanks, FCB, for putting me onto the Solfeggio frequencies. Let's talk about how, what they are and how important they are.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's the different tones really for the body and put together in certain frequencies, because everything is frequency and we're mostly water. And so by listening to these, we're actually helping our bodies move and shift. And trillions, if not billions or trillions of cells every day die and new ones come in. And what is a cell made of? It's mostly space. And vibration can assist with that. It can really help to upgrade you, to release what no longer serves you, release trapped energy, and just help your body come into balance on it by using that. Absolutely. I can't hear you.
It's like, Marcel Marceau.
Yep.
That is. So basically, guys, if I want to prove to you that the whites are in control of Google now, there are, there's indications that they are. Now, Tanya, let me share my screen and show the folks what I mean, because this wouldn't be popping up if it wasn't the case. All right. Let me just bring that down and that down there, and so people can see what's going on. Can you see that? That's on Google, my friends. Right?
That's
I
the
even
first
set up
stage.
the name frequency.
Perfect. Yep.
Right.
Recent
Now let's
modification.
click on, look, Tanya, that's the first cab off the rank.
Wow.
Right?
That's
Now have a
amazing.
look at this. What does 432 hertz? So before we get into this Solfeggio, read that one for a moment.
One of the most significant benefits of listening to 432 hertz music is that it can help to improve mental clarity and focus. This is because the tuning of the music promotes a state of relaxation and calmness, which can help to reduce mental fog and increase concentration.
Now, we're not looking at DuckDuckGo. We're not going on other, this is on a main platform, Google. So this is already indicating to us that the whiteouts are in control. All right? Otherwise, you wouldn't be seeing this.
Yep.
Have a look at this. The science behind the Solfeggio frequencies. All right? And, you've got the it says whether you relate just woke up, FCB. Relatively new to soothing sounds or a seasoned listener, the term Solfeggio frequencies might be entirely new to you. Obviously, it's new to the normies as well, So, it says here, Solfeggio frequencies refer to the specific tones of sound that help with and promote various aspects of body-mind health. So there you go. And then you've got things referring to the Eastern Indian religions, the Gregorian monks, Western Christianity, Sanskrit chants. How amazing is that, Tanya? That is up there now.
That's fan-freaking-tastic.
So people are seeing this. Now let's have a look at this. So, you've got the science, the scientific community began connecting the dots between the type of music played and the variety of physical effects on the human body in 1988. Biochemist Dr. Glenn Rain made a discovery that confirmed what the ancient spiritual traditions understood when he tested the impact of different music on what? Tanya, it's right there.
Wow.
There you go.
DNA. On human DNA. I'm sure all DNA, really.
Exactly. So I'm sure it was, it's been going on for a very long time, but the good old doctor, decided to stumble across it in 1988, and it was probably called a conspiracy theorist back then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Poor old doctor. You know what I'm saying? And it says here, the Gregorian and Sanskrit chants had the most positive, even healing effect by increasing UV light. There you go. UV light absorption between 5 to 9%. What have they been telling us about UV rays? That it's no good for us. That's what they've been telling us. Stay out of the sun. Don't get any UV rays. You're going to get crisp. You're going to get cancer. Everything they did was to create fear, so that we wouldn't be able to heal ourselves. What do you think, Tanya?
I totally agree. And it's funny. So I've since I've gotten home from traveling, I've been feeding the birds outside my window because they've just been really active and they're eating quite a bit. But the birds chirping in the morning, that is a gift for us to help us raise our frequency and to wake up. So nature has many frequencies as well. And I just wanted to add that in there because it popped into my head. But yeah, there's this Devi prayer, which would be under Sanskrit. There's a Devi prayer that I listen to. It's about a 20-minute prayer, and I always feel amazing. Whenever I need a reset or just want to relax for 20 minutes and I put that on, it's like heaven for me. It's one of my favorites.
So you can see already that frequency, we are frequency beings, and also UV light is healing. Hence why, you know, they've been keeping us away from it by saying, put on the slip, slop, slap, put on the sunscreen. It's all for you to get sick. All right? And also, Tanya, think about this from another perspective. We know that frequencies has effect on our DNA, but also you can see there that apparently the solfeggio frequencies have profound mental, emotional, and physical effects. But let's talk about the mental and emotional. Ask yourself why there has been an increase in mental illnesses, such as major depression and all these other associated illnesses to our mental being. Right?
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying, guys. You know, this has all been done by design. It's been targeted at us. Okay, they didn't want us knowing about the solfeggio frequencies. Okay, there was no way you would have found this before. Let me tell you that much.
No. 100%.
So this is an indicator that everything is switched over. Everything is switching over.
Yeah.
Tanya, what's your thoughts? And then it mentions, look at it, the Schumann resonance on the bottom. Look at it. Right there. On the first search.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good sign. Absolutely. And it's funny because I emailed a church on the weekend. There's one church in the Vancouver area that has one of those original organs. And I reached out to see if I could host an event there. I'm sure they're very busy with Christmas right now, but you know, I have to go downtown for a couple things this week. So I may just pop in and check it out. So I'll try and grab a little video.
Awesome. Yeah. So you can see that, okay, you know, there's musical therapy. You've heard of musical therapy. How people go to hospital, the musicians go to hospitals and help those, even the elderly and all that sort of stuff. The problem is that the musicians tune their instruments at 440 hertz. So it actually negates the healing process.
Yep.
So you could have these musicians going there, playing their instruments and stuff like that, but they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. You know, because music is healing when it's tuned to the correct frequency. All right. Now, did you know that you have to get as a musician, I had to go and buy a specific tuner that was able to tune down to 432 hertz. The tuners that musicians have, all right, it doesn't allow them to tune. You have to get specific ones, all right? That's how they've made it. So it's basically cheaper to buy a tuner that only tunes to 440 and not to be able to reach the 432 hertz range. So that's what I'm saying, guys. This has all been done deliberately to be able to target all of us by putting our body at disease, not at ease. And that was done, Tanya. You know, these experiments. You want to talk about the real Holocaust? That was done in the day when the Nazis, right? We're running these experiments. Okay, that was the real Holocaust on people. It was like basically massive tests that were done against people. Okay, so they can basically work out ways on how to put our body at not at ease. And one of the experiments was the 440 hertz. So that's why I'm saying, think about why they target us, why they did this, all right, is because they know that we are frequency beings. Now, another thing I want to bring to the table, Tanya, which is very, very important. I believe that we, as we said, we are frequency beings. We are able to have the power to heal ourselves, manifest, and so forth, right? However, there's been a disruptor, if you know what I mean. A disruptor from us being able to do these things Okay. And now I feel that this major shift that's happening, it's been obviously a progression of major shifts, all right, these shifts, that we're starting to feel these new upgrades, Tanya. They're coming in. Okay.
Oh
So,
yeah.
for example, for me, I'm seeing things that I'll be having a shower and then all of a sudden I'm receiving a download, from somewhere. And there'll be codes just in front of me, boom, 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 all these things. And I'd be like, what the hell is that? You know what I mean? And just take, take a breath and just absorb it. Yesterday was I was actually sitting down and doing some decodes, and then another download came about things that are to come. So basically, what I can see that's happening in the future for mankind.
Yes.
So you obviously are getting downloads that you can speak about, and then I can speak about mine. Go for
Yeah.
it.
So everybody will get them in a little bit different way. So my experience is more of often a knowing, a huge buzzing around my crown, sometimes some pointed pressures and tingling. Today it was up over here, and I'm like, tell me so I can understand, please. And that's one thing you can ask, right? And when I dose for it, it's been upgrades, 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 because my intention has been, this body for quite some time to make sure that I'm ready when all this was coming in and all this is happening, and making sure that are accepting, because those that are not aware at all must be feeling really discombobulated. And my heart goes out to them, because I'm grateful I know and I'm able to absorb. So other things are really vivid dreams. Definitely some people are hearing words like, did somebody just say something? Having more visuals with your eyes open or closed. Definitely out of the corner of your eyes, starting to see more things, like is somebody there? It's a little different for everyone. It depends on how open you are to it, and there's no right or wrong way. So don't beat yourself up if you're not feeling one of these things. Tell us more about yours, FCB.
Tanya, this is what happened yesterday.
Yeah.
As you know, I see numbers. I see
Yeah.
symbols. I see things. Now, there are no coincidences.
Nope.
As you know, I'm a Q decoder, and I read things in very rapid succession. That's the way I work, when I do things. This came to me yesterday. I want to bring it up on the screen.
Okay.
And this is to prove that we are about to know what we really are. And I want you to read it out, Tanya.
Okay.
All right? It's very, very important. So read this Q drop out, please. It's going to make sense to you when you read it. So you want to bring it up on the screen?
I can't. You have to do it. There you go.
Have a read, Tanya. So
I can't read.
Q drop 1143.
Okay, cute. April 12th. Am I supposed to be able to read the white part?
I'll bring the white part up. So just read that part, and then
To my
I
fellow
want your take on it, love.
incarnated extraterrestrials. Woo home! How could I have forgotten this crumb?
There you go. So what is that telling you, Tanya?
That in my opinion, many of us have come back from the future to help at this time. We've come from another timeline.
Well, basically, we're incarnated. The ones that are awake, I believe that we're receiving these downloads and all that. We're incarnated extraterrestrials.
Yes.
We're ETs.
Yes.
So that makes perfect sense to me. Now, why would you have that on the Q drop if Q? That's what I'm saying, guys. We are. You don't get it. Look, we are much more than what you think we are.
Exactly.
We're just being dumbed down, lied to, and people are going to find out things that is just going to blow their minds. It just goes beyond what people think, as in religion, as in where we've been so-called born. Yeah, this is a vessel, but it's what we are inside.
Right. Souls
Um,
having this experience. And
exactly.
all of us can't fit into these, right? So absolutely.
Now, that white part, right? I've got it right here, Tanya. I want you to read that. It's this part here.
Okay,
Now, this is
understand what
why,
mm,
sorry, Tanya, this is very important. This is why people say, take the band-aid off. No, if they were to do that so quickly, they wouldn't be able to fathom what's really who we really are, what our capabilities are, how much, to what extent we've been lied to. Tanya, read that out.
understand one simple fact. The US is connected to the rest of the world. Knowing that, understand by default, if certain intel is released, it would cause worldwide mass suffering. We share the idea of open source, but value life and must make decisions based decisions on outcomes and containability.
So, do you get what I mean? That is very vital, very important. In other words, the outcomes, and that's what Q talks about: moves and counter moves. This is a psychological warfare that we're in, my friends. Right? You have the alliance, which is made up of also the ETs. Right? They've been helping us get through this. They had the phase where they had to bring down the cabal, the deep state, and all that sort of thing. But now that's one part of it. But then you got the challenges of the mind. All right, it's psychological warfare. It's mind warfare. Q talks about mind warfare. Up is
Yeah.
down, left is right.
Yep.
Now think about what is it saying here, Tanya? The US is more connected to the rest of the world than people think they know about it. Now I believe the US, for some reason, Tanya, and I keep getting it over and over again, happens to be a portal for something from
Yes.
some other. Yeah. There is just no coincidences,
I'm
right?
just excited for you to start seeing more. And yeah, there's a
Yeah.
lot of people that are the code is your thing, right? You are when you know that you've been living it.
And
Yeah.
then there's no coincidence, Tanya. Let's talk about Georgia. Why have the Georgia stones and the cabal's intentions there? And then you've got the 3 pyramids in Georgia as well, okay, which you know about. Georgia's significant for some reason. It happens to be, there's something there, some energy, some center of energy there. I really, you know more about it than what I do.
Yeah, so it's all about the ley lines and points of energy centers. So when ley lines cross, they'll create an energy point, and so you'll find most sacred sites are built on these energy points. And I would say the Georgia Guidestones was a big one. I believe they served their purpose, so to speak. I do know that Miss Norma Monroe on the chat went and did a clearing on the Guidestones before she left Georgia. So her energy being there was significant, and there is a lot that goes on in Georgia, especially with Atlanta. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it'd be good to have Norma's take as well when we can. Yeah, it'll be great when. I'd love to pick Norma's brain on that one. Is she around?
Yeah, just a minute. I'm messaging her.
Oh,
Norma.
cool. Yeah, that'd be good because I would really like. I just keep being drawn there, and it's one of the places I need to go, Tanya. I'm drawn there for some reason,
Okay.
so I definitely need to go and see it for myself. Certain things.
Yeah. Well, that's what you'll find is now you're going to be called to travel and explore and feel for yourself the energies. That's why the debt was so big for me, right? And that's why going to Shasta, like going to Sedona, everything is in a direct timing to where I'm at energetically. And now I'm being pushed to go down to Mexico to the Yucatan Peninsula. And so that's where we're off to next to do
Yeah,
some work down there, so to speak. And it's more about we are all a frequency and we are all much bigger souls than we've been led to believe or understand and comprehend until you do. But one can, because I'm super grounded and able to, I can transmute a lot through and a lot also back out in positivity, always for the greatest good of all.
Yeah. And remember, we were speaking about that particular island, which I took a lot of interest to.
Yeah.
What was that island called again?
Ascension Island. It's
I want to have a quick
changed.
look at that. Yeah,
It's
have you got
changed.
that? Let's bring that up. I want to bring that up for a moment.
Okay.
Okay, because that, my friends, it's like you wouldn't be able to, you don't even think about these little islands that mean nothing. You know what I mean?
Right?
Yeah, it's like, it's not one of your Santorini islands where you get people going there and flooding it with, how are you, darling? How you going, Norma?
Hey, how are y'all doing?
Good. We were just speaking about quite a few little interesting things. So let's bring Norma up to speed as to how we've gotten to this. So Norma, as you know, I'm a Q decoder, right? Very,
Yeah.
you know, that's my what I do.
That's your
So
cliche, yeah.
I want to bring you this particular Q drop 1143, which came to me yesterday in one of my downloads. Now, this is what it's saying, that, you know, to my fellow incarnated extraterrestrials, how could I have forgotten this crumb? Right? So it's referring to, I believe, those who are awakened, who are receiving downloads and all that sort of stuff, that are being called to this movement, are ETs. I believe we've got this ET background. What do you think?
I believe that we got a little bit of our future selves definitely knocking at our
I'm
mindful
being
doors.
knocked out, all right?
Yeah.
I've been
And it's
getting all
like-
these downloads, like just I'll be in the shower and then all of a sudden all these symbols and numbers come in front of me. And then it's like, all right, okay, I know where this is
Oh.
going, you know. And then last night I'd be sitting down doing the decode, and then all of a sudden this number, this drop came into my sphere. And it's like, okay, well, that's interesting as well. You know, obviously I meant to see this. All right. And then I was like excited. I tried to sleep all night, which I couldn't sleep. And then I was too excited. And I had to show Tanya in the morning. But, you know, we started off with, you know, a bang, getting that energy going with a bit of Prince, which, you know, is amazing.
Someone's
but yeah,
getting your attention, yeah.
but, you know, Norma, this little part here is very significant. All right. Now, this is a Q drop. Have a read of this, and I want your take as to what this means. So, oops, get that thing out of the way. Can you have a quick read?
All right.
We'll read it out loud again. Understand one simple fact. The US is connected to the rest of the world. Knowing that, understand, by default, if certain intel is released, it would cause a worldwide mass suffering. We share the idea of open source, but value life and must make decisions on outcomes and containability. It's like there's a spelling mistake in there, FCB, which is interesting. Must make decisions, should have a comma, base decisions on outcomes and containability. Wonder if that's on purpose. It's almost a mirror.
Q never does make mistakes.
No.
It's always on purpose, yeah.
Yeah.
So, Norma, what's your take on that one?
Well, when we speak of the United States, the one thing that always comes to mind for me is the word united. And depending on one's level of understanding and how much they know of our history, will they really understand the word united when we look at United Kingdom, United States, and the few other countries that have the united with it? So given what I'm seeing here and what's been read, it's one of those that there's still a lot that needs to be shown, needs to be told.
Yep, you got it.
Well,
So what that is anyone's guess. I myself I'm still doing a lot of research and deep dives myself, just differently than the way you do it. So it all depends on one's perspective and one's understanding of how all this has come to be what it is right here, right now, and what it is that we want to do to change that.
Well, the feeling that I got straight away, because as you know, you have a knowing. I have a knowing, a strong knowing that we are much more than human, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
That's why people got to question, why me? Why am I awake? Why am I this? Why am I that? Why are we the first wave? Right? Because I believe that we have ET in us, definitely, without a doubt. All right?
Yep.
The other thing is we've been lied to on a scale that is unimaginable to us. I mean, we know how much we've been lied to, but to be able to explain to the villagers or the normies, right, that we affectionately call them, all right, it's too much. It's too much. It would cause, as Q says, worldwide mass suffering. To know what we know, it's too much for them. That's why Q also talks about ascension. Now, this is another thing, another Q drop I want to bring, which is the final Q drop, which you should be able to piece it together. Because, we are, how can I say, part of our evolution is basically, it's a spiritual evolution, okay, that we've been, how can I say, stopped. It's stopped at a certain point. It's been suppressed by the cabal, by all these constructs, all these man-made constructs that they've put on us. And I believe, this is the other thing I want to bring out on the table, and I firmly believe this, and everyone's got their own take. And as I've mentioned on quite a few shows, I believe there is a dome that was constructed by the cabal to control us. And hence why you've got Elon Musk created these arrow-shaped rockets. And I've been looking into these rockets, and these rockets are basically designed to penetrate. Now, as you know, they've been, putting domes in our movies, in everything, in anything possible. You see, even in a subliminal messaging, when someone's bringing up a snow globe, oh, that's us. You got the land and all the snow falling down. Everything is it's subliminal. It's basically it's in our subconscious mindset. And part of their law is to be able to show you this, and silence is compliance. All right. So what's happened now? That if that dome that they've got over us is able to basically be a disruptor, after all, we are frequency beings, and if we be that thing's like a containment field, if you will, to be able to stop us from reaching our full potentiality, because they know that we are much more. That's what I believe.
100%. And also, we couldn't have done this any sooner than we're doing it now in many ways. It wasn't our time. There's been many holding the light and helping in many other energetic ways on Earth as the shift has been going on, especially since 2012. But the attempts have been many, and this is it. We're finally getting to, shift in this body. And I just can't stop thinking about the fact that the U.S., and Norma, I'm going to put you on the spot. Get ready. The U.S. Mississippi River, Norma was doing some research on this, it's a copy of Egypt, Upper and Lower Egypt, that whole area, including Memphis. So take it away.
Well, when you read into history, Memphis, the way that it goes about, the true story of Memphis is it's actually a ritual. And it was a ritual that kings would take. So that way that they were ready and prepared to take over rulership, or take over a specific area or a specific site or a specific group or people, whatever it may be. And this was a rite ritual. So when you look at Tennessee and you see Memphis, uh, that is just a correlation to uh, the meaning of what Memphis stands for. So when you get a little more deeper into it, you begin to put a little bit of puzzle pieces together to understand why there are so many correlations of Egypt in America. Just like California has many references to Egypt as well, if you understand how they've laid everything out with how they do it with the geometry and the ley lines, and how it reflects some of the temples and the pyramids and how some things are built in California. So it's little pieces here and there that you pick up as you keep doing your research and things that I've come into. I haven't done like real true deep dives, but these are just information. This was just information I was picking up because whenever I met Tanja and Shasta back in August, I was doing that research, and that's what I came across. And of course, I don't have it in front of me to be able to read everything that I had written down, but I've written all of it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, it's always fascinated me that Georgia has that connection with Egypt, Norma.
Mhm.
Now, there are apparently 3 pyramids that are in Georgia.
Mhm.
Okay, it's like, is it a mirror there? Would you say, is it a mirror? You know what I'm trying to get at?
Yeah, basically, I get what you're saying. Is what was there, did they bring here? Of course they did, in certain levels and certain ways. Because just about anywhere you look, you're going to see shapes that really stand out. That is not of the norm of mountains. You can tell if they're pyramids. You can, at least I can, because of being able to have a certain level of the seer that I have. I see pyramids. I see the constructs of like what looked like there was a city at one time that was built around these pyramids. In Vedette, I've seen one in Vedette. So it's all in when you're paying attention in your awareness level, you'll be able to see things that really reflect, the times of Egypt. And even there are times even beyond that even in Georgia, there are specific areas that relates to Atlantis. So as we look at ley lines, as we see how they've come in and they've constructed things on top of these ley lines or the grid lines, they've done it for a purpose and a reason, and it's to alter and shift and to distort the frequencies that would normally keep us, in that higher vibratory state where this human body is so much more capable of so many different and beautiful and profound, what would be the word here? Spiritual, just connections and gifts that at one time was really powerful before all the times of Egypt and things like that.
So, like, for those who don't know what ley lines are, and probably listening to us for the first time, ladies, can you explain what it means?
I always like to compare it to the meridian system of the body, which is related to Chinese medicine. And so they're the energy lines that run through your body, not unlike your nervous system, or like, so you have major ones and minor ones. And the earth also has this energy system. Earth is a sentient being. Earth is alive, so to speak, and has soul. Many, 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 many souls. So many, I don't think I could even try and count or give a number, because every tree is a soul, every rock is a soul. But every the way water is pulled, that's a ley line, that's an energy line, that's movement. Same with railroad tracks, same with highways and roads are often. In northern BC and Dawson Creek, where I graduated from high school, there's a jog that happens in property to follow the lines. And
Okay.
right, so you know of these things. Now, I do believe they shift and move, especially underground ones. But you know, we know land masses move. So you see these maps, and I tend to douse more. So, and Vedette Lake is like an energy vortex. It's quite surrounded by ley lines, and so that creates this vortex. Plus, the underneath the lake, there's two tectonic plates there. You can't tell me there's not energy coming up from there. There just is.
So, would that be likened to a grid? Is that what you're talking about? When you
Yeah,
say
similar.
grid work,
Similar.
if you can
Yeah.
explain that.
Sorry, say that again.
Grid work, is that the
Grid
same
work.
thing when you're going to
I would say
using
grid
ley
work,
lines?
grid work can be similar. Now think about ley lines and then the crossover. Now that's the grid, right? And so there's energetic that we can't see kind of grids, unless
Yeah.
maybe you're doing magic mushrooms and then you see all the grids. Some people can see them more than others. Some people can feel them. Go ahead, Norma.
Well, it's reflective. And
Right.
and because I have this ability to see, if I do enhance that by doing mushrooms or sassafras, then what happens is I move the human side all the way, and I bring in the higher side. And I've seen the grid, and it's set up almost like, it's almost like a spider webbing in a way. But when we look into this, you also got to take into consideration everything's about sacred geometry, and it's all about math. So that's the reason why they were able to manipulate and utilize these ley lines or these grid lines, and to shift them and move them in the ways that that benefited them to, utilize against us in what it was they were trying to help. They were trying to get us to help create for them, because they cannot create. They have to have our energy. They had to have our frequency and vibration. They had to have our focus, our attention. So they took it away from us, so that way they could utilize it to build the empires, so to speak, that they were, in the process of building, in which we are in the process of now collapsing and bringing down, because we've become aware of it, and now we're getting back to where we're giving ourselves back to ourselves again, and we're holding our frequency, we're raising our vibration, we're taking better care of ourselves, we're more aware and focused of the world that we want to see to come, or to become from here.
And that you hit it right on the head, Norman. When you were saying that, I was like, yep, because that was going to be the thing I was going to ask you after this. The Kabbalah been holding onto these grid lines, they've been using these grid lines against us. They've been using these ley lines to obviously create these vortexes, like I like to call them, black vortex. Okay. If you look at, say, for example, where we live here in Australia, Canberra, right? Now, if you look at the structure, like, how, you see in the States, how you've got the owl, Moloch. There's also symbolism, and they use those certain symbols to enact certain frequencies and negative vibration and negative frequencies. And also remember, the other underlying thing that each one shares, the common denominator, is that they have to be next to water. I'm going to show you right now what I mean, because water is a conduit, and they have been using that against us, right? Yep. So think about it. You've got in Australia, you've got a pyramid with the all-seeing eye on top. It's all symbolism. They've got these. They have to make up a certain. There has to be certain establishments or certain things in place in order to enact a negative or a dark vortex, right? So, for example, let me just bring up Google Earth. You guys can see that there.
Yep.
Right, let's go to Canberra in Australia. Yeah. Right. Are you guys there?
Yeah, I'm here. Tanya might be having problems with her connection. She's having problems with her connection on the computer. So,
have I been disconnected? Was I? dropped out. Did I drop out, Norma?
No, I still see you as Tanya. I don't see.
Okay, because it's like even you're speaking, it's a bit jolted. Can you? So can now our family in the chat please confirm which one of us is having issues with the internet? Is it myself? Is it Norma? Is it Tanya? Who is it? Frozen. Who's it frozen for? I'm just trying before we even start. I reckon we've been hit. I don't want to show in this stuff.
All right, you're there. Yeah.
Okay.
You know what, everybody? We're good. I stepped out to go pee. Okay. Because we're gonna go over an hour. So I was like, might as well go now. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was. I thought maybe you was having because I seen you moving, and I thought maybe you was having with your.
I'm getting jammed. Someone's playing around with our shit.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, I know. I reckon they don't want me to show some stuff.
That's all right.
Well, stiff shit.
No
you
way.
know what I mean?
No way.
I'm going to bloody keep showing it. All right. Now, what I need to do, hey. So what I want to do is show you guys how do you bring this shit across. There's got to be a way of swinging it across. You know what I mean? Is it this button here? There's a way of tilting stuff around. Oh, here we go. Right. So you can see here. Can I tilt the bastard even more?
Yeah, look
that's tilting. I want to bloody move it more this way. Right. Okay. So you get the gist anyway. You can see there's the all-seeing eye. There's the pyramid. All right. And you've got old Parliament House here. All right. And you've got new Parliament House up the top there.
Look at that.
And can you see how they're facing water? Everything is facing water. So even if you go to, for example, the Capitol Hill, that's facing water. You go to London, it's facing water on the River Thames. You go to Canada, that's facing water as well. So wherever you're going, they're always facing water because they know that water is a conduit. Now, did you know that there has to be a something that makes this up? So you got here, you got Parliament House. Why not put Parliament House somewhere else? No, it has to be in line with the new one, doesn't it? Right? So you can see already you got the all-seeing eye, you've got the pyramid right there, but all what's right opposite across. And what does that represent? That represents blood sacrifice. Every war that has been fought has been about blood sacrifice. So this is what makes up a vortex. Does that make sense, ladies?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Oh.
And look at go back down. Go back down for a second.
Can you see?
It's like
and that's what I'm saying. I mean, deliberately sorry?
Can you go?
Sorry,
there was that
speaking?
one shot where the guy was standing, it was against the water by the National Museum of Australia, and then just over to the up and left a little bit there.
The Australian War Memorial is the memorial of, it's like a war museum.
Yeah.
So you see how it's directly opposite there, and it makes up that pyramid.
Yeah.
And then you got on the other side of that pyramid, the compass, the Freemasonry compass. That's where you got, I think, the Australian Tax Office. All right. So it's somewhere along here. And, obviously the tax office, it's there it is right there. Can you see that? That's a free. And that's where the Australian tax office happens
Yeah.
to be. So, and did you know also in Canberra there is the Saturn black black, what do you call them, cubes of Saturn there as well. So why all these things, these elements are there? It's obviously to create a negative vortex, and that's why whenever I go to Canberra, I feel sick. I could see that people are. You could tell that people are very like zombified, if I can explain it, in Canberra. The most compliant, if you will. And that comes down
docile. They've been
Yes,
docile. Yeah.
exactly. That's what I'm, that's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm getting at. So, and then there, also in Canberra, we've got which represents the left-right construct of the Rothschilds, of the Khazarian Mafia, you know what I mean? Which is in Canberra as well. So there's so much symbolism there, it's not funny. All right? And also, if you go, to other countries like Canada, so if we go to Canada, right? Where's your parliament?
FCE, do you want to try and take out the music screen that's sitting at the bottom? You're cutting in and out. You want to take out the music screen so it's off out of the studio? See if that. It's in Ottawa.
Sorry?
Ottawa.
How do you spell it?
OTT. There you go. You got it. It's just down. Yeah.
Let's have a look.
FCB.
Tanya.
Do you close your screen?
It's right here.
Yeah, you've got. Okay.
All right.
Can you listen? Can you hear me? Yeah, there's a delay.
It's right here.
Yeah.
What's it next to? What's it facing? It's facing water, isn't it?
Yep.
All right. It's facing water. And there are no coincidences because they know that water is a conduit.
It's also
And and the other thing is, Tanya, I mean, you go to the States.
Yeah.
Exactly. So whether it's good or bad, it carries whatever energy is being sent.
Absolutely.
As you know. But also, look at this, the eye of, you can see that's an eye too. Can you see that Egyptian eye?
Yep.
Everything is symbolism.
Absolutely. Everything is symbolism, and it's all going to be changed. But in order to change for the future, it's important that we do know our history. But, let's keep going back all the way, really, as Norma keeps saying, to the original. So a lot of people are finding out a specific area of information, and then they stop and they stay there, and then that's their thing. Whereas those that know just keep going like, what else? Show me, keep showing me, keep showing me, because you get back to the very base, which is the actual truth, rather than the convoluted truth that other people have written about and shifted for their purposes as well. And so we have to be constantly curious but sit in a neutral spot, right? So you're not caught up in those evil people. You're now in a neutral spot. Yeah, that shit happened, but now it's getting cleaned up. Great. Okay, we're moving forward. It's important to remember there's duality, and there always will be duality. There's always two sides to everything, even us, right? There's always two sides to us. We have a shadow side and we have a light side, and we wouldn't be us without them. And so it's really important to look at the whole world that way.
Yes. Uh-oh. I think he's frozen.
Now, we all know this one. All right? Capitol building. we all know, we can see the L here and all that sort of stuff. We all know that represents Moloch, right? Because that's what they do, these
Yep.
scum buckets. But look what it's facing
FCB.
water
FCB.
again. Look, water all the way down, all the way down, all the yeah. Yeah.
You're cutting in and out.
Can you
Can
see
you
it?
close?
One
We
clear
can see
path
that.
down to the water. Right there. All the way down.
Yes.
Yeah, he's lagging.
Yeah.
Right? And one more last one. Okay, because we can go here all day about this rubbish. But anyway, let's just keep going. And hopefully people are getting it. That water is very important. And after all, we are made up of water. Therefore, everything has to do with frequency. All right?
Yes.
Oh, I've seen that Punny show. I love that one. Yeah. Now, this is the story. Rightio. Let's go to the Vatican. That also is facing water. And how do we know? Because remember, everything is symbolism. Everything is symbolic. All right? I'm just waiting for this thing to catch up. So let's see with the Vatican's here, right? Now, let's turn it to where it's supposed to go. Right there. Because everything has to face water. The upside down cross, can you see it?
Yes.
Right there. Okay. And the shipping line. And think about also, what is on the Australian flag? What is on the British flag? That construct. You've seen it, haven't you? How it's got
Yes.
the shipping lanes. So, for example, Australian flag, all right, and the United Kingdom flag, all right, have that same structure, right, which I'm about to show you right now. All right.
Looks like it's waiting for a key.
Look at this. Can you see that?
Yep.
That's what it represents, my friends. That. Right? Shipping lanes. Everything's about maritime law. Where's it pointing to? Straight to the water. Straight to the water. Compass again. Remember, symbolism is their downfall, as Q says. So there you go. Everything to them is symbolism, and that's what Q says. Symbolism, their downfall. Look at that. So you got there. You can see things that you wouldn't see before. So there you go. What do you think, ladies?
You're absolutely. You know, there's so
What's your
much
thoughts?
more. There's so much more to this. I want to know what's underground everywhere. I'm like, let's go.
Nope.
I want to go explore Tartaria.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
this is what's very important. This Q drop, this last Q drop. Why did Q put this as the last Q drop? Let's have a read of that one first, Tanya. Let's talk about that, ladies.
What is coded
Read it
in
out.
your DNA? Who put it there? Why? Mankind is repressed. We will be repressed no more. Information is knowledge. Knowledge is power. Information is power. How do you protect your DNA? There is a war for your DNA. Protect your DNA. Ascension. Q.
There you go. So what do you take on that? Let's talk about that because it's very important. This Q drop, and why is it the last one?
It's the last one for now.
Yeah, for now.
For me, that means, well, DNA has Yahweh written into it, which is Jesus, which shows that if it has been written into the DNA, we've been created by something for it to, it's not organic. We've been created. We are the most amazing, like this avatar is freaking incredible. The whole movie Avatar is more realistic than anyone can actually understand at this point. There is so much more reality within that movie that shows that. And so, but we just didn't know. We didn't know what we didn't know. And then once you do know something, you cannot unknow it. And so that's how the knowledge becomes power, because you're like, oh, well, I know this now, and I know about ley lines, and I know about the energies, and I can understand how important the DNA is, and that the DNA is being shifted right now. It's why you're seeing codes. It's why Norma can have her gifts. It's everyone is having this beautiful uplifting right now, whether or not they're obviously aware of it yet. As you clean your system out, it will come online quite strongly, especially over the next couple months.
Norma?
Yeah.
And and what Tanya speaks to is ultimately the truth to things that. But when you look at DNA carries what? It carries memory, and in that memory, it carries what? Words. And there are certain things that they did bring out to us that there is truth to, and even in the Bible it states, and in the beginning there was the Word. Who are the Word? Who's the Word? We are. We're the Word. And that's the reason why it's vitally important for us to understand our words, the etymology, to take it back as far as you can, so that way you ultimately understand that the Word does speak to creation. It does speak to, the essence of who we ultimately really are at its bare, original bare blueprint, that nothing was amiss. We were made in the image of God, but not in the terms or in the ways that we've been taught. We were made in the likeness, so that way we would be gods ourselves and help in this creative process. So that's what's important, is to understand first, you are the Word.
Another thing I want to say, ladies, pay attention to one aspect of that drop, and ask yourself, why not the other word? They use the word mankind, not humanity.
Good
There's
question.
a big difference there.
But
Yeah, go for it, Norma.
the one word that really stands out to me is the word repressed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, that's
So-
another word that throws itself at me. That in the etymology of things, when you redo something, you're whatever it is you're doing. So pressed. So how do we look at pressed? Press, and then press. There's so many different utilizations to just the word press. So that's why I say, when you do the etymology, you got to go all the way back as far as you can, so that you understand how, when they came down, let's go down and confuse them. They confused us with the language. They confused us by altering the symbols and utilizing it in a way to create their own religions. That's why we're here. That's the reason why everything has come to be what it has become. It's because they fooled us by changing our language, by coming in and just pillaging everything when they took over a country or a tribe, so to speak. So in that, everything has been so altered. It's been stepped on. It's been repurposed. It's been rebranded. It's been altered so much. So when we look at the Q drops, what is it ultimately in the end that, when I read this, I have to ask myself this question: what is more of the deeper meaning here we may not be, recognizing or realizing just yet? That's why I say there's more to this than we know, but we're coming into understanding it because the playing field has been leveled.
Yeah. Now, I'll give you my take.
Yeah.
What is coded in your DNA? The book of life. That's what they say, the book of life.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Cash
Who
record.
put it in there? The source. Right? Source of all creation. Right? Whether you call him God, let's call him the source. Because realistically speaking, it's just a man-made construct, a label. God's just another label. It's the feeling that you give towards a label. All right, that's it. That's what it means. So we could call, for example, we could call a bottle. Say, let's call it bottle, for example, instead of God. It's just a label. We are frequency. We are beings of feeling. It's an emotion. It's the unspoken word. It's the feeling we put behind something that gives it meaning. All right. So whether we call whatever, it's basically, I call it source. The source of all creation. Put it there. Why? Did it put it there? Because as Tanya says, you know what I mean. We all got God in us, right? If we all got God in us, God wants to know itself as well through experiences. As you say, Tanya, you've said this so many times. That makes perfect sense, right? But how do we do things? People say, "Oh, wait for God to do it." Well, if you'll be waiting a very long time, because you'll be sitting around scratching your bum and nothing will happen, because you don't get it that God put the book of life in us. Therefore, He's put His thumbprint on us as well, which is His power. Now, the Cabal know this, and how did they stop us from realizing our greatness, our full potentiality? Repression. Make us believe that this is all it is. This is what life is all about. By creating a debt slavery system so we do not invoke other parts of our mind and explore what we're really all about. All right? By keeping us in this construct by, as I keep saying, this dome, which is a disruptor, but also by poisoning us, keeping us sick, culling us down, because we're that way we're manageable, right? Using, water, food, air, stress. They know that we're frequency beings, therefore they know how to make us sick through stress. And that's a low vibration. Now, we'll be repressed no more. In other words, think about it. How do we get out of this construct? Well, we've been awakened. We've been awakened. And if you can comprehend this, we've been sleeping. We've been in slumber. So we've been awakened in a very gentle way. That's what I believe the Alliance, right? The ETs, that's why it mentions the ETs, because we are ETs. We've got ET in us, right? We just didn't know. That's what Q's telling you. We didn't know. We've been repressed to be able to tap into that part of ourselves, because they know what our capabilities are. But what do? They call us insignificant. They make us insignificant in every which way, shape, and form by dumbing us down. So you've got the dumbing down process, which has also got to do with your re-education system, right? The education system, sorry. So they'll educate us into believing, what's the first thing? This is what you are. You're just a scum. You came from the scum of the pond, right? Or you're a monkey that came into being who you are right now. You live on a ball that's in the vastness of space, that's insignificant, a speck of dust. Everything has to do with making us feel insignificant. A number. Why do you think they give us numbers? To make us feel insignificant. Everything is being done by design to make us feel that we don't matter. Realistically speaking, we do. Realistically speaking, we have God within us, therefore we have the power to create and manifest, and they've stopped this. And what does Q says? We will be repressed no more. Can you see what's going on? The matrix, the construct that we've created is being disassembled in parts, and it's been going on for a very long time. Not just now, it's been going on for a very long time, this whole deconstruction process, I believe. And we've been here. I'm an old soul. I know that for a fact. I've been here many times. That's why I'm here right now, just like you guys are as well. We're here because we've been put here for that particular reason, is to bring out the truth so that mankind, right, not humanity, mankind, because realistically speaking, we are ETs. We're not who we think we are. And that's what Q says about if it was to release all that information, there'll be worldwide and mass suffering because they're not at that awareness level. But the thing is, things need to be brought down, which they have been. That's why you got Elon Musk with the arrow-shaped rockets bringing down that dome, that construct. And ever since, you know what I've been noticing? That this thing has been happening with the dome being smashed, this part. People have been saying to me, have you seen the sun? I've never seen it so beautiful. The colors of the sky, I've never seen it like this. I've been getting this lately.
Woo!
Right? From people that are asleep. Right? And people also like us who are awake. So obviously they're starting to feel these energy shifts. That's why we're feeling these energy shifts and these downloads are constantly coming. That's why I feel like I'm coming into my element, I believe, more and more. I look at the way I began to who I am now and, you know, major difference. Major difference. You know, and why is that? Because I can feel these things, these energies. And the thing is, also, I don't just feel energies in my local sphere, but worldwide as well. Energies beyond, which, you know, it's hard to put into words, but it's a knowing. You got to have this knowing, guys, which is where we're coming into, our knowing, our connection with source. It's like, you know, when you got a wireless router, I'll explain to you. You got all these blockages, built, you know, brick walls and all that sort of stuff, blocking you from receiving the full strength of what's been transmitted. Because the source has always been transmitting, but these people have put things in our way to block us from receiving the full strength, meaning the full power, our full potentiality. So what has been happening is the Alliance have been breaking down these walls, and we've been feeling an increase in that signal with a connection from source, right? And that's what's been happening right now. And that's where we're being repressed no more. We can say that because knowledge is the universal mind, which is source, is power. You can see it there. Knowledge is power. Information is power because when we have a knowing, we have power. We have connection to God, to source. And it says, how do you protect your DNA? How do you protect your DNA? Is to change, you know, the way you think, and also obviously and that's why it says in the Bible too about respecting your body temple, right? Respecting your body temple. That's very important because do you go around throwing rubbish in your house? No. This is God's house too. God created us. This is our body temple. We should look after it. We need to look after our DNA, protect our DNA. Because what have we been noticing? Ever since we've been detoxing from the rubbish and all that sort of stuff, we've been noticing shifts. We've been noticing that there are things that are changing within us. And basically our DNA, you know, as we were talking about the solfeggio frequencies, Tanja, before.
Yeah.
Right? About healing our DNA. I believe there are things that are happening in the background as far as, don't forget, frequencies do not have to be heard either. There are frequencies that are not heard.
We can't hear our torus field. We can't hear our torus field running.
Exactly. So what I'm saying is that what is this leading to? Ascension. Ascension to who we are meant to be, who we were supposed to be in the first place. And that's what I'm saying. What, you know, is a coincidence that we're saying that it's mentioning about the ET, like, you know, in that one there, in that drop about this. To my fellow incarnated extraterrestrials, how could I have forgotten this crumb? Now, is it a coincidence that happened to come into my sphere? No. That's why we're talking about it today. What do you think,
And
ladies?
what was the question above that? What is the crumb? Because we never did get to that. What is the crumb?
Well, that crumb is what we read before, darling. This one here.
The other one. Okay, right. Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah. No, that's all right. That's all right. So I want to know so what do you think about what we've been laying out on the table?
Yeah. It's true. And I think there's so much more we don't know yet. And so when you can manage your energy and not blame external forces, so you're not sending out a negative vibration, because every word you speak, every thought you think, and action you take, you are manifesting your reality. The manifestation, we are coming from inside our heads and looking out. It's like more of a projector from the vibrations coming back in. It projects it out for us than it is that, oh, I'm in the world and I'm seeing it through these eyes. Can you add to that, Norma? Because you say that really well.
You know, the world within us is what we must see first. In order for these eyes to show us what it is we seek to know about the truth, we must see it within us first. So that clarity will come over time as we continue to search the information within us first, the knowings that we have, that we hold within us, for that is what the DNA holds. So as we go along in wanting, or as we master these, when we master not questioning what we're getting, yet use discernment as you say, stand outside. There are times you even have to stand outside yourself to observe self in order to utilize that discernment of, okay, what are we talking about here? Oh, whoa, slow down. Hey, well, now I don't know if I can comprehend that or not. Let's take that back a couple steps here. So when you get to a place where you quit questioning so much of your knowing and you just have a conversation about it with yourself to see if there's something more to it, the clarity of the vision of what is outside of us becomes clear, because once we see it within, then the eyes of the soul shows you what's outside, because you're working on it from within. And that's something I work on every day. What do I need to see within me that I see that may still be a habit, or it may be a conditioned thought or something that I was taught to think? What can I replace that with? I want to replace it with truth. So let's sit down and let's have this have this conversation.
There goes Norma with her voice thing. So she's speaking her truth more than she's ever spoken before, which kicks in on her throat chakra, which is this what happens. So we just give her a second here and take your time. I want to answer two questions that I just don't want to forget these things. One was, what is dowsing? So I use a copper rod for dowsing. And please show me a yes. Clear. Please show me a no, and it doesn't move. Now, you can do this also with your body by standing up tall and closing your eyes and ask to be shown a yes and see what your body does, and then ask to be shown a no. You can use this for questions. You can use this for food. You can use this for supplements. You can use this to make big decisions. All right. The other thing, the conversation was around magic mushrooms. Mushrooms come from nature. All mushrooms are attached to what's called mycelium. It's the network underneath the ground that communicates with the animals. I need more water over here, and mycelium will come take more water over there, right? So it's this really cool wiring, not unlike a computer, that is set up to work with nature. Well, mushrooms come from that. And mushrooms have the capacity of getting our mind to get out of the way a little more. So we may see with different eyes. So we may communicate differently. And as we go along, it'll be needed less and less, but it has expedited my process and many others, some of you may in the chat, doing even microdosing to just get more connected with nature, because you're communing with nature. And the mushrooms will start to show you. It will take away depression. It will take away anxiety. It'll make you feel better and more connected overall. And that helps to expedite this process. So somebody was just mentioning too, every time I feel like I'm ascending, something dark pushes me down. There is likely some energy within you. Some shadow work is what I get that needs to be cleared so that it's not this push-pull within you, because everything is within you. Nothing's happening outside of you in that way. Does that make sense?
Makes
right.
perfect sense to me.
Norman,
Yeah.
could you finish that thought? Are you good?
Of course. Thank you for that. So, so yes, I mean, of course, when we work with getting to know ourselves in so much in depthness, when we step back and we look at that, you know, even if you want to look at the light and the dark, okay, they're two beautiful aspects of who we are. The darkness is just something that enacts the things that, you know, normally without these conditionings and without, you know, these impressions that have been put upon us to feel and to think the way that we have for so long, that we're bad when we're not. We're just expressive, and in those expressions, sometimes when we make those choices, we didn't always make them from a higher or greater place of self, because we didn't know at the time that what we wanted to do was know ourselves in ways where when we make those choices, we want to make them where we know that we are growing in that. I'm sorry, my throat is just giving me problems here,
That's all. Love.
and it's throwing my thought off. When you're looking at yourself, I've always said, and I will continue to say, stop being so hard. Show yourself love. It doesn't matter the choices that you made in the times that you made them, because you had something to learn from them. Always know that every choice that we make, there's something for us to learn from. Can we sit down and can we face ourselves and allow that light to shine upon that dark, for that darkness to just say and have its own voice and say, well, this is the reason why I responded to this. This is the reason why I reacted to this. And give that darkness the chance and opportunity while that light is being shined upon it to say, but you know what? I can change that. I could have made a different choice.
Yeah.
And the reason why I know I can do that is because you've shined that light for me to see. So you see, darkness and light, they're a beautiful combination. They truly are. And when you get them to sit down with one another, once you can get that darkness to release that anger by just allowing it to have a voice, and you allow that darkness to just speak to its truth and love it while it's speaking that truth, then you become more centered with self. You love self more, because then you begin to see your darkness is your light.
You know what it is? It's balance, Norma.
Yeah.
Everything is about balance. That's why you got
Yes.
yin and yang. I mean, they've known this for a very long time. Everything is about balance. You know, you can't have one without the other. Okay? And this is the thing. I've been poor Norma.
Yeah, it's okay. This is good for her. It's
Yeah,
clearing
it's
her.
good. It's good.
Yeah.
I mean, we all go through this.
Yeah.
Okay. And mine's just going, I've gone through that part. So what I believe, and I've been receiving some downloads as we've been speaking, Tanya, believe it or not.
Awesome.
Okay. So we're talking about DNA. What is DNA? It's a list of instructions, right? So these instructions obviously have been put in there in the first place. The book of life, okay, instructions, because in those instructions we know and resonate what is good. We know. We don't need man's laws and stuff like that. We know, we have a knowing, because those instructions tell us what resonates with us and what doesn't. All right? Now think about it. This is the thing, Tanya, what comes to me. The Bible has some truth to it. There is some truth. In the sense that it was talking about in Revelation about how mankind will be deceived by sorcery. And as you know, there is no the Bible was written in Greek. All right? The what we call the Second Testament, or the part where we talk about Jesus and all that, was written in Greek. Now, there is no Greek word for sorcery. What they did, as you know, our language, our English language, has been keeping us in a state of spells and all that sort of stuff, keeping us in a state of negative flux. right? Because they've been obviously educating us to, that's what they say, do your spelling to make sure that you stay where you are. You know what I mean? In that loop, in that negative flux.
Yeah.
So getting back to what I was saying, the word sorcery is actually pharmakia in Greek. So pharmakia is pharmaceuticals.
Mhm.
We're being warned back then to protect our DNA. Those jabs, but not only the jabs, I believe everything they've been doing to us has been pharmakia, sorcery, right? That has been affecting our book of life, which is DNA, which is our set of instructions. That's what I keep getting, Tanya. And that's what Q talks about protecting your DNA, getting rid of all the rubbish, stop eating the junk food, stop eating all the the rubbish that's out there, drinking the rubbish and all that sort of stuff. Get rid of it all. Detox yourself and get your DNA back in alignment. Heal, because as I said, we've got the power to create and manifest, therefore we have the power to heal ourselves as well. I truly believe that we are the med beds, right? That
Yes.
we have that power to be able to
Yes.
do so. We just been told otherwise. No, you need the pill. You need this. Now you take pharmakia, and guess what? You're going to have all these, what they call them, side effects, because you take one thing and then it has all these effects. All right. Then you need
It's
other
not natural.
counter that side effect, and then more and more and more. And therefore your book of life becomes corrupted, just like a program. And instructions are programs that have been corrupted by a virus. And what basically Q's telling us is to get rid of that virus, to protect your DNA, detox yourself from that rubbish. Don't be deceived by sorcery, pharmakia. Make the change today. So in other words, when you do those and these things, you will ascend where you're meant to go spiritually. What's your thoughts?
100%. Listen, it's everything kind of coming together all at once now with with us. And part of this is you go through this process. At first, it's like, wow, everything I believed, like it was a pretty quick switch for me. I didn't have a huge cognitive dissonance over it at all. It was like, oh shit. Oh shit. I didn't know that. But
Yeah.
I was just, oh. And then of course it's like, what else don't I know? And then it goes on from there, and you go on to the health, and then you go on, get off the device a little more, get out in nature, like whatever your starting point was. We eventually do this, like encompassing our own little hero's journey per se, to find out who we truly are. And it's quite beautiful. It's the best adventure game ever.
Yeah. There's so much more to that one. Don't you
Right?
worry about that. And that's why, when we talk about grounding, Tanya, you
Mhm.
put your feet on the ground. Why? Because that's Mother Earth. And what's Mother Earth about? It's about healing. There's another form of healing. Mother Earth has been created by Source to be able to heal us as well. Everything works in symbiotic, what do you call it? In harmony, so to speak. What do you think they created the shoes and all that sort of stuff so we don't get healed, that we're always in a state of negative flux, that we're always depressed? You know what I mean? There's that word again, repressed, depressed. It's the same bloody thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's exactly what we've got to do. Get out of it, get back to nature, get back to healing, get connected to Source. And let me tell you, once you do that, my friends, everything will change in your life. You will see amazing things. You will see amazing shifts. You will feel amazing, my friends. Make the change today. As I said, don't sit there and worry about the past anymore. No, we're not in the state of regret. Get out of it. You're not going to be sitting there waiting for my pot of gold or, for God to do it for me. No, you've got it in you. Tap into it today. And you don't need a piece of paper to declare your sovereignty either. You are a sovereign being. There's no other, how can I say, higher thing than to be created by Source. Okay? To have that power, the book of life, which is God's thumbprint, which is the power of God within you. You got to tap into it. Stop making the excuses. Get rid of it. Get tapped into it today. You can make that change.
Yeah, it's all within you.
That's it.
All
That's
the
exactly right.
answers are within. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
exactly right. So, yeah, I think, Tanya, I'm happy to leave on this note. What do you think?
Absolutely. That was perfect. It was very impromptu. And Norma, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, Norma, it was great. And
Yeah.
hey, don't forget, we got, Soul Tribe. So the new revamped Soul Tribe, guys, we are going to be, so Tanya, you want to speak about that? We got not just
Yep.
us, we're going to be swinging it around to different presenters and, talk about
Yep.
it. Because we all part of
Absolutely.
the Soul Tribe.
Yeah, I spoke with a friend I hadn't spoken to for a while who's got some interesting takes on things, and it'll be Soul Tribe will be that option of the tribe of us as an SCB collective, the presenters coming in and sharing, and I won't always be on there, FCB won't always be on there, Norma won't always be on there. We're going to mix it up so that we
Yeah.
get different people in. So then we'll also bring in some guests, some really well vetted guests, as they always are, to share another perspective, to share maybe another way of looking at life so that you can find ways that work for you, because we're all very unique, and hearing the different resonances of voices as well as different perspective is really quite beautiful. So, and that's on Saturday at 3 PST.
Yeah, whatever time you want, darling. All good. No, hey, that's what I'm saying. I mean, what do we have to put times on everything?
I know. I
Yeah,
know.
you know what I mean? Come
I know.
on.
Well,
we'll go with the flow with Soul Tribe, because that's what it's all about. It's about all of us having a great time
awesome.
and sharing,
Awesome.
because every presenter's got a different take on things. And that's what I love about each person. They've got their individuality and their outlook is different, which is what makes us, that's what we should be doing, is basically, focusing on what makes us, we're the same. We're all brothers and sisters. We're all connected and all that, but we also have our individuality, our different levels of ascension, our different experiences, which everyone can draw from. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. It's so important to not get stagnant with things, right? So that we're mixing it up all the time. And it's the biggest thing I do. We've got dragon fruit downstairs to eat.
Oh, I love dragon fruit. It's my favorite fruit. I'm going to go and buy some now.
Yeah, I found them today when I was. Do you know what Tobiko is? Jade gets. I don't know where she gets this stuff. Mom, I want to try Tobiko. I'm like, what is
Tobiko? What the hell's that?
It's like little rice. It's almost like a rice noodle, but in specific shape. And then you have it with pasta. It's like a little. It's like a little. Is it a dumpling? Like a little ball, right? Kind of like a dumpling, so to speak. And she just loves. This is her jam. Is all this Asian type, pasta-ish stuff. Anyways, it's fine.
You know what, Tanya? You know what I love doing? And that's the beauty of finding your inner child. I believe we need to tap into the inner child. It's very important. And stop being all, like people walk around with a stick up their asses, you know what I mean? You know what I did the other day that, obviously, there are people that don't get it. All right. I went to, and I said, let's see what General Flynn's saying. So General Flynn was asking a question of, to Michelle Obama, and I said, well, how about we ask a real question? All right. So I decided to put down a question, and it was designed to, bring a chuckle, make people laugh and all that. And I said, how about we talk about Big Mike Schlong? You know what I mean? That's what I said. How about we talk about that one? And when are we going to be invited to the biggest gender reveal party ever? Right? So everyone started laughing. We shifted the vibration. We had a laugh. You know what I mean? You know me, I'm a shit stirrer. Okay? And then you had these 3 little libtards come out. You know what I mean? Obviously, they couldn't see the joke about it. And after all, what we're trying to do is bring out the truth, after all. And they got offended. And I said, well, if you're going to be offended by that, well, guess what? There's more things to be offended by that are coming your way. You know what I mean? Like some real major truths, because the thing is, I say the word fuck, right? And it's just an expression, right? That's all it is. It's just a bloody word, right? President Trump says the word fuck. He said motherfucker. He said so many words, but no, they don't jump up and down for him. They jump up and down for me, right? So anyway, these are the same, and that's why I said, on my podcast that, there are people with their Bible in their hand bashing it around, you know what I mean? And, no, I'm going to say it. I don't give a shit, all right? They're going to sit there bashing their Bible, but in the bedroom they're saying the word fuck, don't they? They don't give a shit about that one. The bunch of bloody hypocrites, the whole lot of them. All right? So I said, you know what? You know, if you're going to sit there and bash the Bible around, and while you're saying that word in the bedroom, you know, stop throwing stones in the glass house and get real. You know what I mean? So I called him out, okay? And at the end of the day, okay, that's what I do. You know, we bring out the truth. You know, you want to go out there and accuse me of, you know, saying, oh, you know, he said this and he's disgusting. That was another word. I'm disgusting. Well, you know what? You know what's more disgusting? The politicians and the religious leaders that are out there, all right, that are polishing their words. They speak every word measured, but they're the ones doing the kiddie fiddling. Why don't you go and get offended about them? Go over there and get offended. Go and find something worthy to get offended by and stop bashing your Bible on people's heads, all right, because you don't got no clue what the Bible says. Okay, the Bible, okay, is not something you go and regurgitate like a little parrot. You know, Polly wants a cracker. You know what I mean? That sort of shit. You don't do that. You got to know what it means. All right. So what I say to all the fuck them. You know what I mean? So if you want to, you know, sit there and complain on my emails or whatever, knock yourself out because you're going to get banned. Anyway, thought I'd just say that one.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Put it in the bucket bucket now, would ya?
Yeah, that's right. And then that's the other one I got in trouble for. The fucket bucket, the ship bin. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Well, fucket bucket, ship bin. There you go. Go and write as much, you know, complaints as you like. Knock yourself out.
Awesome.
No, I do things on purpose, Tanya, to shit stir people. And to raise, because, you know, one thing, you know, we need to do is to shake things up. You know, otherwise things get just stagnant and boring, you know?
Of course. Yeah, absolutely.
So, anything you want to end up on, ladies?
Well, what I end up on, I would like to end on the note that, so you have, what are we? Wednesday, tomorrow night is Resonance with Melzy and Norma and I.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll talk more about the frequencies, then your frequency and how to get yourself upgraded. So I'd love to hear what you guys would like to chat about. So put it in the comments under the show. I do go through these, and I do love to sort of give you what you would like to know more about. So it's your opportunity to chat with us more in a more intimate setting and ask questions. Thursday at 5:30, I have a free Zoom going on for rod dosing and body dosing. And so you can find that in the link tree. And then we have Soul Tribe this Saturday. And what else is on Friday? You've got a show on Friday. I can't keep up because you switch yours around a lot. It's like, which is great.
Okay, so tomorrow I've got the Pulse with Dave.
Yes. After Resonance, yes.
Astro Jules, which I love. You know, Jules is amazing, guys. Yes. I love her perspective on things.
Yeah.
I also want to say a big shout out to David Piltz. Love his work. And Alex, and watching you guys on the show the other day was amazing.
Yeah.
Adventure Sport Connections, you guys rock. Right? Yeah. Love it. Okay, you love how I changed the name. You said, oh, FCB, can you change the name?
I just want to have Norma on there too. It says with Tanja. I'm like, yeah, but she's always here now, so let's add her in.
That's it. I love Norma. I love you, darling. You're a big cuddle. When I see her, I can't wait to see you guys and give you a big cuddle. And then also, we're working on, in the background, Tanya, about this tour of business, because I need to obviously get things organised. So you'll notice on the Telegram, we're putting out polls, and that is to, you know, can everyone please participate so we know what to do, where are we going, and all that sort of stuff. All right, because we're going to be going with my whole team. All right, it's going to be amazing. We're going to have such a great time together. We can't wait to meet everybody. And, you know, Tanya, we're going to have it, and Norma, the way I want it is just relaxed, chilled out, like a 2-day seminar. You know what I mean? Yeah, we'll do our thing, our bit, whatever. But at the end of the day, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, going on a ranch and having a barbecue and, you know, all that sort of stuff. Having it, you know, fishing and all that. Oh, you've got to go fishing. You're on. I'm a good fisherman. All right? So, you know what I mean? I just want to go out there and meet everybody and have a great time, you know, and, you know, none of this Anthony Robbins business star jumps and belly flops on stage, none of that, you know.
Yeah.
No, it won't be anything like that. It'll be organic, just like we are. You know what I mean? So, Norma, anything you want to say before we finish it off?
I'll say as quickly as I can. Everybody, do you, take care of you, love you, sit down and talk with you as much as you possibly can, and thank you for your understanding and for y'all understanding my little throat issue here. So thank you for inviting me and having me on.
Yeah.
Anytime, darling. Anytime.
We
Tanja?
love you all.
Yeah, I love you too. Now, how about we play a bit of Prince?
There you go.
That's it, guys. So, you know, welcome. Well, not welcome. I hope you all had a great time here on Bright Side Show. And until next time, God bless you all. Thank you. Meanwhile, stay outside and have a great, awesome day wherever you are in this amazing world.
Hey, look me over. Tell me, do you like what you see? Hey, I ain't got no money, but I'm rich on personality. Hey, check it all out. Baby, I know what it's all about. Before the night is through, you will see my point of view. Even if I have to scream and shout, baby, I'm a man, I know it now. Baby, what time I'm a child.
Hey, send me in up into the DJ.
I don't want to stop till I reach the top. Sing it.
Everybody, love you.
Take a listen.
Have a great one. Cheers.
Tell me